as passionate about your state's craft beers as we are.
And now, the three-time winner of the Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters Excellence in Broadcasting Award, the recipient of 2 Pennsylvania Associated Press Broadcasters Association Awards for Excellence, promoting and advancing the craft and microbrew culture in Northeast PA. This is another edition of
The Friday Beer Buzz! Yes, the Friday Beer Buzz is powered by Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar in Exeter. Sabatini's with the area's greatest selection of rare, craft, and imported beers, growlers, and crowlers, and 37 rotating drafts at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar, Wyoming Avenue in Exeter. Oh, Lindo Sabatini, welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Bill from mybeerbuzz.com. Bill, how are you?
Hey, happy Friday. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm excited for the weekend. And I'm okay with the cool weather. And it doesn't matter. I'm sure no matter what, you're going to have a beer. Yeah?
This is that good news, bad news thing. 3-day weekend, so you don't have to work, but it's going to be 40 degrees and rainy. So I think it's a fair trade, right?
I've been saying it loud and proud. I hate the humidity, so I'm cool with this. I'm fine with this. I don't know how you...
Was that a dad joke in there? You're cool with this?
It wasn't, but yes, it can be taken that way if you want to. Thank you for noticing. I appreciate it. The effort wasn't there. It just happened naturally. But all right, so where do you guys want to start? Do you want to tell me what's going on at Sabatini's? What do you guys have going on this weekend?
Just looking forward to a nice long weekend. Hopefully everybody comes out, and that's it. Simple.
Keep it simple.
Keep it easy. Don't yell at us about the masks. That's all.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit. I mean, can we touch on that for 30 seconds? And we're going to get to beer news, Bill, I promise. You want to touch on for 30 seconds?
This is a great topic.
The biggest problem in any establishment, whether you're in a pizza shop or a beautician's shop or whatever it is, we have these rules that we don't want to follow either, but it's so unclear in so many places what we have to do, and some people are interpreting it different ways.
Right.
And the CDC confused things with their release, but we're waiting for the state to catch up with the CDC.
Because you still have to follow LCB rules.
I mean, the governor released yesterday that he's hoping by the 28th that we can take the masks off of June. And everybody's like, what does that mean? Because we've already taken them off. I'm like, well,
But I've talked to someone else who said the LCB hasn't really chimed in as to what it means for patrons of restaurants and employees and restaurants and bars.
We got a guidance from them on the 17th, a written guidance, and it didn't say a lot about masks being optional yet. So,
and there is confusion, and there's still fines being handed out. There's what I've heard secondhand.
Oh, and the screaming. I don't care about all that. The problem is when we get screamed at. I mean, we're just trying to do what we think we're supposed to do, and people just lose it and launch off on us. So it makes it hard. And I'm only one little guy in a pizza shop. All the other places and people, they're working there and they're getting yelled at. They're paid to work there. They're not paid to get yelled at. But
people are a little bit on edge.
Yeah, especially 6 beers in sometimes, but anyhow.
Well, but remember, if you're going to get 6 beers in, Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bar. All right, Bill. As we kick off this weekend, we have some beer news. What do you got?
We do, yeah. And to just add very briefly to what Lindo said, having just traveled a few weeks ago, traveling is a whole new thing, and you would be shocked. I mean, I was shocked at how poor the mask game was, how obstinate people were about fighting about having to wear one, and the silly things that people are wearing that they think count as a mask. It's just, we live in a really weird world.
Yeah.
But the good news is we have some beer news. And the first bit of beer news comes out of the West Coast from one of our favorite breweries, a brewery that we've had their brewmaster on many, many times, and their director of innovation on many, many times. That would be Stone Brewing in Escondido, California. They're doing a beer, and it's new. It's going to be called Let's Be, B-E-E, like Fuzzy Bee, Let's Be Homies. And it's going to be a hazy IPA that is a collaboration with the Schutz Brewery in Bend, Oregon, another one of our favorite breweries. It uses Oregon blackberry honey, and how they isolate the bees so that the bees only pollinate Oregon blackberries, I'm not really sure, and California orange blossom honey. And if you're an IPA lover, you probably know about Bell's Hop Slam. Bell's Hop Slam uses honey in a really interesting way, and it's a really, really good beer. Honey imparts a lot of sugar into the beer, and sugar usually imparts a lot of alcohol. This one is only 7.5% ABV, and it will be packaged in 16-ounce cans and 22-ounce bottles. Along that same line, Deschutes is also collaborating with the German brewery Bitburger to create the newest version of a beer they release every year called Chasen Freshies IPA, and it's all about chasing fresh cone hop to use in a beer. Fresh hops is better, for me at least, and I think for most people that love hoppy beers. And it's going to use Triumph and Cashmere hops. That beer will hit 6% ABV and 50 IBU, which is pretty darn hoppy, and it will be packaged in 12-ounce cans. Our next tidbit comes from Chicago, from Goose Island. We've been reporting on their Bourbon County Stout variants, and I should mention up front, and I mention every time, every year Goose Island, just to, as Lindo says, to mess with me, puts out fake Goose Island Bourbon County Stout variants. And I'm going to run down some of the new ones that they've just released, and you tell me which you think may be real and may not be real.
I love this game.
The fun part of this game is there really isn't an answer for another few months.
Oh, well, that's not fun anymore, but that's okay. Tell me the names. Let's take a guess.
They typically release these things on Black Friday in November, so we don't really know for sure until like October. The first one is called Reserve Blanton's Bourbon Barrel Aged Bourbon County Stout, and it is aged 18 months in Blanton's Bourbon Barrel. That one has to be real. The second one is called 14 Stout, and it is aged in rye whiskey barrels with cassia bark, cacao nibs, and panela. Now, it also uses coconut water. Cassia bark is just Chinese cinnamon, so that's not anything really crazy and odd. And panela is a sort of a Central American, South American whole cane sugar. It's these blocks of a sugary kind of substance. So that one seems like it could be real. The next variant is called Pineapple Crisp, and that will be an oatmeal stout with pineapple, brown sugar, and rolled oats. So that's got to make you say, I don't know.
That sounds like the most feasible one I've heard yet. There's so many crazy beers. How many more are there?
There's just one more.
Oh, one more, okay.
I think the one more is the Classic Cola Stout, and it will be brewed with brown sugar, citrus, coriander, vanilla, and spices. So
I think the last one.
That one to me, I will tell you, that one to me sounds so fake that I'm betting it's real. And the Pineapple Crisp one, I don't know. I don't know about you, Lindo. Have you had a pineapple stout?
Yeah, I don't know. I prefer myself. I'd rather drink that pineapple. To me, it reminds me of the description of my mother's pineapple squares, and I would rather drink that than a Coke beer. I don't know.
Yeah. The cola seems to be a thing. There are a lot of breweries releasing soda and soda-like beers, like hard sodas.
I'm going with that one as a fake.
Not Your Father's root beer.
Yeah.
So I think that one's so fake it's real.
Well, you said we'll find.
Anyway,
we'll find out in coming in November or October.
I'll get them. Yeah, they release them on Black Friday in November. I'll probably get the news break in like October, late October, early November.
Sounds good.
And there will be more. Believe me, I will be sitting here on the phone with you, telling you about more of these variants, and some of them you'll see will be really silly.
Now, I want to segue over to this week's featured beer, which I just took a sip of, and it had this like kind of almost creamy feel to it in my taste buds. It didn't feel creamy; it tasted creamy. And Lindo just showed me the bottle. Tell everyone what this is.
Yeah, so our beer comes to us from Abita, and Abita is in Covington and Abita Springs, Louisiana. There are two facilities. It's not a state that we have featured a lot of beers from, Louisiana. They don't have a lot of breweries, but it comes from Abita Brewing. It is part of their limited series of beers, and the beer is called PB Jams, and that may give away a little bit about what the beer is all about, because it is a peanut butter and strawberry jelly inspired lager. And so we talk about it all the time. You know, there are two major categories of beers. There are ales and lagers. It has to do with the yeast that they use, the temperatures that they ferment at, and sort of where the yeast lays in the beer. And this one's a lager. Abita does a lot of lagers, and it is a peanut butter and jelly-based beer.
Yeah, they did a great job.
About 15 years ago, when you said peanut butter in a beer, people would be shocked. Since then, there are a lot of peanut butter beers. Does it taste to you like a PB&J?
Yeah, it's shockingly. But it's subtle. Like I always compare. Lately, I've been comparing beer flavors to Jelly Belly jelly beans. Like they can make almost anything taste like, you know, get that taste into a jelly bean. Yeah. This is in beer. You don't want it that overwhelming, but this is subtle and on the money.
It is. To me, I get the jelly in the back. Like right now, I taste jelly in the back of my throat, which is weird. But you know,
it's very weird to hear too. This is very cool. Like this is one of those ones that you want to share with everybody.
Trying to figure out what beers to pick, you know, walking around the shop, looking at the shelves or whatever. I'm thinking, all right, this one's worth trying. I haven't had it before today, and you know, a lot of these beers that taste like dessert or taste like food, to me, confuse me sometimes, and I'm afraid they're going to be too sweet or too sticky.
This is not at all.
This one is actually on point. And
what style of beer is this?
It's lagered. It's their base beer is a Bock or a Doppelbock, and then style of lager, and then they hit it with peanut butter and jelly, I guess. Hopefully they take the bread out. I don't know.
Stealing kids' lunches and throwing it in the bed.
It's a sneaker.
Yeah, this one.
Go ahead, Bill.
This one uses Pilsner and wheat malt, so it has sort of a mostly wheat base, which is a little odd for a lager. It uses German Pearl and traditional hops, and they get typically the peanut they get from like a peanut powder, and then the fruit flavors are relatively easy to impart either with a fruit puree or a natural fruit flavoring. This is one I got to taste early. Our pal, we've had him on the show before, Jaime Jurado, formerly Susquehanna, formerly Shiner, also now formerly of Abita, was kind enough to get me on their sampling program. The beer hits 8% ABV, so you know that one will sneak up on you and bite you. And it's 20 IBU, which is, I think, surprising because a sweeter beer, to me, leans into a lower number, like a 10 IBU. Right. So 20 IBU implies that there's a little bit of hop going on here. So I don't know if you're getting any of the sort of...
I'm getting so much out of this thing.
Flavors.
I feel like it's going to sound weird, but I'm getting everything you're saying. And I feel like either I'm getting educated on this or I'm tasting it all. So thank you. You guys have opened my taste buds. I realize we got to wrap things up. Your website, it's mybeerbuzz.com. If you missed any of this beer news, it's all there. It's all there.
Yep.
And we'll talk again next week. And Lindo, anything quickly you want to say about what's going on at Sabatini's?
Come down and have a beer.
Yeah, or many. The Friday Beer Buzz, powered by Sabatini's Pizza, Sabatini's Bottle Shop in Exeter. This is the Friday Beer Buzz, bringing good beer and good people together.